Samsung made a big splash the last couple of weeks with the release of its flagship phones, the S9 and the S9 Plus, but they come at a price. The S9 comes in at over $700 and the S9 Plus comes in over $800. But what happens if I were to tell you that there's a smartphone out there for a fraction of the cost but doesn't compromise on the display, on the build quality, and the overall looks? Well, I might just have that phone in hand. It's called the Elephone U Pro, and it shadows a lot of the preconceived notions we have of budget smartphones coming out of China. Hey everybody, this is Andrew, and this is my unboxing and review of the Elephone U Pro. I've got a lot of exciting things on the way to the studio, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And of course, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for the latest updates. GearBest sent this over for my unbiased opinion. I'm not being paid or being sponsored by GearBest. And I have some exciting news. I will be giving away the Elephone U Pro to one lucky viewer. Details below and more information at the end of the video. Now, packaging was pretty decent considering this is a $425 smartphone right now. I expect to have nothing less than that. Now, opening the box, you're greeted by the smartphone itself. It's a nice, sleek looking presentation. Now, holding the unit for the first time, you realize this smartphone is very similar in weight and size to that of the Galaxy S8. You get your USB-C cable, and they include a fast charger. We'll talk more about battery life and charging times later in this review. A USB-C to 3.5mm headphone adapter, which you'll need since this does not have a 3.5mm headphone jack. You get a SIM ejection tool along with some documentation, which is also in English, which is nice to see. And they include a clear case, which you're going to need since this is a major fingerprint magnet due to its glass back. And it's also a slippery device, so the case will come in handy to give you a better grip. Now, the Elephone U Pro comes in at $459. I'll put the link below for more information and where you can buy one. And it comes in a multitude of colors. I think the hottest color to me might be the red, but the one I'm reviewing is the black one that they did send me. But again, that red looks really hot. It's powered by the Snapdragon 660, which is a mid-tier, mid-level processor. We'll talk more about performance later in this review. And it also has 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of onboard storage, expandable via micro SD card. Now, Elephone seems to be wanting to step up its game. This is a very similar device to that of the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus, which Samsung recently released. And it's pretty remarkable how well they've copied that device. In fact, it's almost a dead ringer for my S8 Plus if it wasn't for the size. Of course, there are some differences, the biggest ones being the fact that the screen resolution is not quite as high as the Samsung Galaxy line, or the fact that the price is so much less. It really is significantly less than that of the S9 and the S9 Plus, which is something to keep in mind. Now, one thing I'm a bit disappointed is the fact I'm not getting 4G LTE speeds here in the United States with my use of my Project Fi SIM that utilizes the T-Mobile network. Now, according to this chart, AT&T does have the supported bands for 4G LTE speeds. If anybody out there has this phone and is using it on AT&T, let me know in the comment section below. I am curious to see how your experience has been as far as speed with the LTE network, if you're able to get it. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm not able to get it. I'm only getting 2G speeds on my Project Fi SIM, and that's a bit disappointing. But it is usable, but not very ideal. Of course, if you live outside the United States, you probably will get those 4G LTE speeds. Let me know in the comment section below if that's something you're able to get. I am curious to know. Now, probably my favorite feature of this device is its display. It's a 5.99-inch AMOLED display. It has a resolution of 2160 by 1080. That's 403 pixels per inch, and it has an 18:9 aspect ratio, which obviously has been the craze as of this year. It has an 82.93% screen-to-body ratio, which translates into pretty small bezels. I'm really impressed with this display and this design. And it also has the curved edges just like you'd get on the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. What I really like about this display, it's a very bright display, good for both indoor and outdoor use, and I love the fact that it is an AMOLED display, which means you're going to get those very inky deep blacks and the very vibrant punchy colors really popping off of the display, really looking great. Now, what I'm really impressed is the fact that I haven't really seen such a high quality display out of China. It seems like that Elephone has really decided to go all out, stepping up its game to compete with the likes of the Samsungs and the Apples of this world. And I really like its size. The 5.99-inch display feels really good in the hands as far as the width is concerned with that 18:9 aspect ratio. Now, one thing I'm really happy is the fact they went with USB Type-C to charge this device. It's located on the bottom and it worked flawlessly. And on the top, you get your dual SIM tray. Now, one of the SIMs will be swapped out for the microSD card slot when you want to use it for storage expansion. And the buttons are metal on this device, not plastic. The Elephone U Pro has an 8-megapixel front-facing camera. Now, let's see it in action. So this is the front-facing camera on the Elephone U Pro. It's a pretty decent offering considering you're getting this from China. We don't normally see pretty good cameras on the front, at least, or even on the back for that matter on some of the cases. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. I think it's decent, not bad, good for you want to doing selfies, obviously. When you need to do Skype, you need to do video conferencing in the pinch, this certainly can get the job done. But again, I want to know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section below. And it has a dual camera setup on the back. Now, both the main shooter and the secondary shooter are both 13 megapixels. And to be honest, it was a mixed bag. I thought in decent lighting conditions, it produced some decent quality shots. Not the best I've ever seen, but certainly usable. Now, it does have the bokeh effect with the use of that secondary camera. It actually does work, but it's very artificial. It's not the best bokeh effect I've ever seen. It looks very manufactured. Now, as far as the black and white photos, it was okay. And as far as the low light situations, things started to fall apart. It wasn't the best in low light situations. And it shoots 4K video, 30 frames per second, and I have to say it's so-so. It's not the greatest quality video I've ever seen out of a rear-facing camera. Now, as far as the optical image stabilization, it doesn't seem to employ any or any kind of electronic image stabilization for that matter, so it's not very good. It's a little jittery, and I'm not really impressed. I would say at best it's so-so. It's certainly usable if you need to take a video, but it's nothing great. Now, there's a bottom-facing speaker, and it's actually pretty decent. I was pleasantly surprised with the volume, and it had even a hint of bass, believe it or not. Now, let's hear it in action. Now, the fingerprint sensor is located on the back in the center, not like off to the side that you'd get with the S8 and the S8 Plus from Samsung. And I thought it worked really well, registering my finger pretty much every time I used it. And you get Face Unlock, another option to log in with this device. Now, it worked really quick, although it didn't have the security features you'd find, say, on the Samsung devices, or say with the Apple iPhone X's Face ID. The Elephone U Pro sports a 3,550 mAh battery. That's a pretty nice size battery considering its size. Now, it did pretty well. It got about 9 hours and 40 minutes on my Wi-Fi 1080p streaming test. And here's how it did against its competition. As you can see, it wasn't quite as good as the OnePlus 5T, although it came close, but it certainly did better than the Xiaomi Mi Mix 2, the Verni Mix 2, the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus, and the Huawei P10 Plus, just to give you an example. And it takes about an hour and 40 minutes to fully charge this device from 0 to 100%. And it supports wireless charging, a welcome addition to these Chinese smartphones. Hopefully other manufacturers will follow suit in the near future. I love having that ability to charge on my Qi charging stand. Really handy when it comes to charging my smartphones, and the fact that this has it is a nice bonus. Now, I was impressed with the performance. It's powered by the Snapdragon 660, which is considered a mid-level or mid-tier processor. It's certainly better than the MediaTek Helio processors we've been seeing as of late with a lot of these Chinese smartphones. And it also helps that it has 6 GB of RAM, so things such as gaming perform fluidly, really well on the highest settings, and I have no problems running games such as Mortal Kombat X and the like. And I'm really happy that it runs Android 8.0 Oreo, not something like Android 7.0 Nougat that we've been seeing out of a lot of these Chinese smartphones as of late. And what you get is a very stock Android experience, a very light skin with minimal bloatware, if any. And I thought the OS was very snappy and fluid, and certainly aided by the fact that it does have that Snapdragon 660 with 6 GB of RAM. And they even borrowed some of the software cues from Samsung. They even had the Edge panels, or at least their version of it, with less functionality, of course. It's more of a shortcut menu rather than any real functionality that you get with, say, the S9 and the S9 Plus. Now, I was hoping the Elephone U Pro would have some sort of waterproofing in this device, and it doesn't, or at least I'm not aware of it. There's no IP rating that I'm aware of. I was hoping at least IP67. That doesn't seem to be the case, and I'm not about to find out if this thing is water and dust resistant, as I am giving this away to one of you lucky viewers. And another nice addition to this phone that you don't normally see from these Chinese smartphones is the inclusion of NFC, or near field communications. Things such as Google Pay was hopefully going to work on this. Unfortunately, I was not able to get Google Pay to work. I was able to download the app and use it with my certain rewards cards, but not able to add my bank account. It said that it had some sort of customized ROM on it and would prevent me from doing that. Hopefully, Elephone will address this via software update in the near future. Let's keep our fingers crossed. So to bring it all home, can I recommend the Elephone U Pro? And the answer is yes, I can recommend it unless you're in the United States and you're not on AT&T. Now, I haven't confirmed that AT&T does in fact support those 4G LTE bands, but from what I understand it does. But I was able to use it on the Project Fi network without 4G LTE, unfortunately. It was only 2G edge speed, so that is obviously a deal breaker for many of you. But if you live outside the United States, this is certainly a viable device. It's a blatant ripoff in terms of design and functionality in some cases, as the new Samsung S9 and S9 Plus. But that's not a bad thing. I'd like to see more manufacturers stepping up their game with a premium device. Now, of course, there are some problems with this device. As I stated, the NFC does have it, but it cannot use Google Pay here in the United States. At least I was not able to get it to work. And it's expensive when you compare it to other Chinese smartphone offerings. At $425 right now, it seems to be a little bit overpriced. But of course, there will be flash sales at some point, so be vigilant, be on the lookout. I will put the latest pricing in the link below. And besides price, the biggest negative here to me is the dual camera setup on the back. I'm glad they do have it, but it didn't do great. I thought it was so-so. Low light situations, things weren't so great. In decent lit conditions, you're okay. You can get some usable shots. Front-facing camera was okay as well. And putting those negatives aside, I think this is a step in the right direction. I hope more manufacturers will follow the lead coming out of China, giving you decent offerings, premium offerings at a good price. Hopefully this price will come down. It's a good device with some obvious flaws. And one of you lucky viewers will win the Elephone U Pro. That is right, a $450 value. All you have to do is make sure you subscribe to my channel, check out the link below, and you can enter to win this very Elephone U Pro. Now, it'll be open for 2 weeks, open for everybody, and I will be drawing the winner on my Twitter account, so make sure you're following me on Twitter. I'll put all the necessary information in the link below. Please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Good luck to everyone who enters a chance to win this, the Elephone U Pro. Again, open for 2 weeks, open to everyone. All the instructions in that link below. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMDtech. See ya.